pull them belts tight.
Here we go.
There's a loose tire on pit road. Johnny Benson hit that tire, and that's just flipped up over the wall.
Whoa, trouble in wide. Here we go. 2 cars in the wall. Bill Elliott's one. That ain't done yet, Mike.
Ricky Craven, that 32 car was...
Yeah, he is really getting around this racetrack.
The most important pit stop of 35-year-old Ricky Craven's entire career. They have got to get it right. Low on the left front. Not the best stop. Good stop for Jeff Gordon. 14.4 seconds.
Jeff Gordon comes off the 4th corner and gets his 54th career victory. The nation's fastest family of networks welcomes you to Brooklyn, Michigan, where last week's winner, Jeff Gordon, who wore them out at Dover, leads the field in here for Sunday's 400-mile NASCAR Winston Cup race. Today, Bud Pole qualifying will set the 43 cars that will start on Sunday. The Winston Cup point standings took a tumble last Sunday in Dover. Jeff Gordon closing to within 50 of Dale Jarrett. And the big loser, Johnny Benson. That bumped tire and a blown engine dropped him from 3rd to 8th in the points. So things continue to change as we near the midpoint of the 2001 NASCAR season. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Michigan. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds and Darrell Waltrip. We're at a 2-mile speedway with high bank and hardly a lift off the throttle, and they are going around here fast.
Well, here's what we know. From testing, the cars run over 200 miles an hour down these straightaways, a lot like California. Here's the other thing I know as a driver. You're going to hear this over and over again when we interview these guys. We ran better than that in practice. I don't know what happened. That's kind of a classic Michigan statement. For some odd reason, when these guys get ready to qualify, they get the tires all pumped up and they get ready to go, you can overdrive this racetrack. And you come in shaking your head saying, I don't know what happened. We were a lot better than that in practice. And the crew chief's looking at you like...
Heard that a lot, absolutely. But you talk about the speeds, Darrell. You talk about they run through the corner. They back off the throttle. It's about that much for about that length of time. I mean, this is about the 5th quickest racetrack we go to. And as far as predicting a pole sitter, last 10 races, 10 different pole winners. I don't want to try to predict who's going to be on the pole today.
Well, stay with us and we'll see who wins the Bud Pole for Sunday's 400-miler here in Michigan. Bud Pole qualifying coming up next on Fox Sports Net.
NASCAR on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Budweiser with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you. And by Cheez-Its, made with 100% real cheese.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I know what I'm doing. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Watch my import. I'm going in. Go get a Wildcat. What are you doing?
Made with real cheese.
Howie, about your driving.
Don't tell me, Terry. A golf scope from Radio Shack measures distance to the pin. Works great for approach shots, but nothing can help.
Howie, I was just going to say how much easier driving would be if you monitored your pressure with a digital tire gauge.
Hurry in for great deals on cool Father's Day gifts like this golf scope and digital tire gauge. Now at Radio Shack.
Will she feel the same way if you lose your hair?
Sure. She'll just feel it about somebody else.
Don't worry, I love you. Anyway, you don't have to lose it.
Are you talking about Rogaine?
Rogaine? Maybe. Why not?
Rogaine. Yeah, why not? It's simple, it's safe, and it's clinically proven to help stop hair loss and regrow hair. Does she want you to use Rogaine? Better ask.
Detroit Sports Report.
Thank you, thank you, thank you!
It's the nightly newscast you've been waiting for.
This is the real deal.
30 minutes every night dedicated to scores, highlights, and interviews from your hometown teams.
We told you it was going to be good.
Your teams, your town, your show. The Detroit Sports Report, nightly at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
Lots of hot action coming your way this weekend from Michigan Speedway. Tomorrow, the ARCA cars take to the track. You'll see that here on Fox Sports Net at 4 p.m. Eastern. And NASCAR Winston Cup practice on FX at 8 Eastern. NASCAR this morning on the net, the Winston Cup race on FX at 12:30 Eastern. And an all-access NASCAR victory lane. They're going to follow Kevin Harvick around for the whole weekend. Capsulize that on Fox Sports Net Sunday night at 9 p.m. Well, let's go down trackside to the host of Totally NASCAR, Steve Burns.
Hey, thanks, Mike. 23-year-old Ryan Newman is running 3 different series of stock car racing to gain experience this year. Go on, Warburton. He's running ARCA, Busch, and Winston Cup. But a funny thing happened on the way here to Michigan. They were going to run the ARCA race, but he was so good in his Winston Cup race at Charlotte, they decided to run here. He sat on the pole at Charlotte, and guess what? He is the fastest car here in practice, and he's driving the same car he drove at Charlotte. To Speedway Illustrated's Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Steve. You like stories of underdogs who are doing really well? Got one for you. The guy that drives this number 32 car, Ricky Craven. After a bunch of devastating accidents, many people in the garage had written Craven off. But last week at Dover, Delaware, he almost won the Winston Cup race, wound up finishing 4th. And this morning, in practice for today's qualifying session, Craven was second quick. Now, he's going to get his qualifying run late. He's 39th. But stick around. If you like stories of underdogs who do really well, this kid could win the pole today. Mike Joy?
Thanks, Dick. And another driver there at the head of the line. Not a Winston Cup regular, but among the top half dozen in practice, Jeff Green. The defending Busch Series champion will be our first Winston Cup qualifier on track next.
What a great day at the races. There's Ricky Rudd, and heading for victory lane is Dale Jarrett.
Hey, Dale, how about helping me ship that bloomin' onion back home?
Ricky, keep your hands off my bloomin' onion.
Wait a minute now.
There's nothing like a day at the races.
You have an autograph?
Sure. And nothing tops it off like a big bloomin' onion and a thick, juicy steak. Here you go.
Thanks.
Not too fast for you, Ricky. Outback Steakhouse, NASCAR's bloomin' favorite.
Depot and save $20 instantly on all HP scanners over $99.99.
Americans love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton, the power that works for you.
What if you were as dull as your car? At Pep Boys, we think cars deserve a little excitement with an amazing selection of car and truck accessories. Now you can get that hot import look with the latest APC performance products. Because when it comes to making cars stand out, all you need to know is where to go. Pep Boys.
Apparently, some people don't know Dremel also makes cordless rotary tools. Dremel cordless rotary tools. This Father's Day, they're the perfect gift solution.
Chipper Jones and the Braves battle Derek Jeter and the Yankees. Fox Saturday Baseball tomorrow on your local Fox station.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. Last week's winner, Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, and look at them flames. They just keep they're going further up his arm every week.
Well, that whole thing ought to be in flames after last week's show at Dover.
They put a whooping on them last week.
481 of 500 laps led. But Sunday night at midnight, the clock returns to 0. And here we are at Michigan for butt pole qualifying. You know the drill. 2 laps. Your fastest is your qualifying speed. Fastest 36 cars get in the show, and then it's car owner point provisionals for the next 7 spots, and that last spot reserved for the most recent past Winston Cup champion if needed. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the track record holder, set the last time Winston Cup was here in August.
Yeah, and this cat here, I mean, he's anxious to get going because, you know, he got rained out at Dover, and that's how come he's here this week. They were going to run this car at Dover last week and got rained out, didn't get to qualify, no points, so he didn't get to race, but he's come here with the bit in his mouth, and he's ready to run.
Yeah, this was not one of the planned events, and this is the same car they had at Dover last week, but just a victim of the circumstances. And speak about victims, we've got 48 cars here, so no matter what, how you slice it or dice it, 5 are going to have to load up and go home later on this afternoon.
And 9 of these drivers, including Jeff Green, are trying to qualify for their first ever Michigan Winston Cup start.
Yeah, and I would pay close attention, folks. 200 mile an hour down the straightaway. We're going to keep an eye on the attitude of these cars. That's very critical with no bump stops, as they have not been able to run those the last few weeks. But watch these cars when they go into the turns. They drive in so hard and so fast with very little banking that they sometimes will get out from under the drivers and chase them up the racetrack.
Right down to the white line at start-finish on this rounded D-shaped straightaway.
Felt like he practiced, just a tad slower. He was at a...
And Jeff Green shuts it down after a lap of 38.614, 186.4 miles per hour.
He was a 55 in practice, and he ran a 61 just in, which isn't bad with the weather, you know, with the conditions of the track.
And I think we're going to see a lot of one-lap runs here. This is a 2-mile racetrack. Every little bit of tape you can add to that front end will make it run faster down the straightaway, but heats the water up faster. So if you get a good lap in on that first lap, and here's the fastest man in practice today, Ryan Newman. He's fast everywhere he goes, but the more tape you can put on it, the faster you're going to run, but it will overheat the motor trying to run 2 laps.
And he's walking down there. He looks calm and cool and collected. But let me tell you, as a rookie, he's getting ready to sit down in that race car. He knows he's got a shot at the pole. He's got a lot of butterflies floating around inside that little tummy.
There's Newman's ride from Penske Racing, Roger Penske, who the former owner of this track. Now it's part of International Speedway Corporation.
Taped up solid, as you can see. There's no opening air, any air opening whatsoever. Got the grill all taped up. That's for that good, fast 1-lap run. See all that tape everywhere, down here, up there, all taped up.
Now, Bobby Hamilton in the Andy Petrie number 55 was not among the top 40 fastest practice speed.
He was the slowest cat here. He was 48. Now, that's sometimes, you know, practice speeds aren't always indicative of how you're going to qualify, but they certainly are. They make you feel better if you've been up pretty high on the chart anyway. This guy can't mess up.
This is a brand new race car that they brought here, and they've been building a lot of their chassis. These 2 guys was having a conversation a few weeks ago.
They're talking about Charlotte.
Yeah, when he sat on the pole at Charlotte. But anyhow, this is a brand new chassis, a Hopkins chassis. They've been playing with their own in-house chassis. Jimmy Elledge, the crew chief, told Andy Petrie, the car owner, I want to get me a chassis like a lot of the other teams have. A Hopkins chassis, a store-bought chassis. The downside, Jimmy said the car ended up a little heavier. That's one of the advantages of building your own chassis. You can control the weight a little bit. Untested, no wind tunnel. First lap on the racetrack was today, but they did struggle, DW.
Yeah, they've been struggling, and, you know, you look at what's beating you. And what's beating you every week is a Hopkins car, basically, or a Laughlin car. Those 2 are the best 2 of the brands, and you try to get like everybody else. If you're getting beat by some, you get something like it.
Let's go to Dick Berggren with last week's runaway, all but runaway winner.
It was a runaway winner. Jeff Gordon absolutely blew the competition in the weeds, and in 1999 and in 1995, he won the pole for this event. What kind of laps did it take to do that today?
Oh, boy. Ron Newman ran a 46, so I would think that was a pretty good lap. I'd be happy if I ran in the 40s. I don't know if we can really pick much up. Ran a 55. We were a little bit tight, so we're going to try to free it up. But let me just, I want to say hey to Papa Joe, Rick Hendrick's dad. He's not been doing too well, and he's got some surgery coming up. We just want to wish him all the best, let him know he's in our prayers.
Okay, everybody feels that way. Good luck, Papa Joe.
Yeah, just Papa Joe, I'm thinking about you, praying for you, bud.
Bobby Hamilton's lap, 39.335, 183 miles an hour. Shauna Robinson is here, hoping to crack the starting lineup for Sunday's Winston Cup race.
Welcome.
Gentlemen, start your engine! Track run.
probably wouldn't know it by looking at me now, but I used to have a hair loss problem.
Whether you're just starting to thin or experiencing advanced hair loss, Hair Club has an option that's right for you. Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now for this free booklet.
So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and make the call, because after all, you can't hit a home run if you don't get up to bat.
If you'd like to get more hair, call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB today.
It's the rumble. It's the rivalry. It's the rush. It's NASCAR, Winston, IROC, ARCA, Saturday and Sunday, June 9th and 10th. The rumble, the rivalry, the rush. Michigan International Speedway. It's all good.
The world's hottest chili peppers are heading to the Down by the River Chili Cook-Off on Friday, June 15th on the banks of the Grand River next to the Lansing Center. This year, there'll be twice as much chili and twice the room as Lansing's hottest chefs serve up screaming bowls of taste bud incinerating chili. So join the Mike Espy Blues Band and be brave. Eat the heat from 5 to 9 p.m. on Friday, June 15th on the riverfront by the Lansing Center. Sponsored by the Lansing Board of Water and Light.
Every move, every story, totally NASCAR. Tonight at 6.
But full qualifying underway here at Michigan. Jeff Green is quickest. Matt Kenseth is second. Bobby Hamilton is third. Kenseth coming in after a lap of 38.808, 185.5 miles an hour. Steve Burns.
Mike, with Jeff Green, whose time was 38.614. I know you wanted to get qualified at Dover, but rain washed you out. Are you happy with the lap here?
Pretty happy, Steve. It's we run tick faster than that in practice, but it's got a little hotter, and I was a little bit conservative probably getting into 3. I left a little bit over there, but I think that'll put us in the top 15, and that should be a good run for AOL Chevrolet.
All right, good luck Sunday. Dick Berggren.
Well, Ryan Newman is being pushed down to the front of the grid because he's going to go off pretty quickly. He was the fastest man in practice this morning. Have you made any changes to the car, Ryan, that could make it faster or slower?
We made one little change. It's pretty minor, but if we can just back up what we did, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. I want to take an opportunity to thank all the guys back at Penske Racing. This is a car we crashed at Charlotte. They did a heck of a job between the fab shop, the body shop, and the chassis shop to fix it, and looks like the work's paid off so far.
And let's add that car won the pole at Charlotte.
Sure did, and it was fastest in practice here. Casey Atwood is one of those 9 drivers hoping for his first Michigan career Winston Cup start. He has one top 10 qualifying effort in 2001. It came at Texas.
The car's got a pretty good look to it. It's down pretty well in the front. That's usually indicative of a car that's going to run pretty fast down the straightaway and then the corner. The question is, can he get it to the corner?
He was 28 quickest in practice. He had ran a 38.96, so we'll see what he can do here. You see the green tape at the bottom of the valence. A lot of times a crew chief will do that, not for looks, but you can see it better against the black asphalt, how low it's getting to the ground.
Darrell, we don't see him right down against the white line here.
No, they'll be all over the place. You'll see some guys go in with a real high arc down into the corner and run right to the bottom. Others will just run a high line here. That's what I like about this track. There's a number of ways to get around it, and all of them are fast.
38.908. Casey Atwood, 185 flat.
A little bit quicker than he ran in practice. He looks like he's going to go ahead maybe and start this second lap. He's coming off turn 2 on the backstretch here.
You usually do that more for the crew chief than you do anybody because, you feel like your first lap's probably pretty good, and they say, go ahead and run that other one, get us a plug check, get us a tire sheet, maybe we can learn something. He looks real smooth in the car. I don't see the car doing anything it shouldn't be. It's right under him well, and he's turning hard to the left. And, folks, you're going to see them all drop down at the start line. You come off turn 4, what you're trying to do is use the banking to your advantage. You'll drive that car all the way to the bottom of the racetrack at the start line, trying to pick up, just a teeny bit of speed.
Darrell picked up nearly a 1/10 of a second.
So he had the car. It depends. You got to plan on what you're going to do. You're going to run 2 laps, you're going to run 1 lap. You're going to leave a little opening in the front for some air. You're going to put air in the tires. You got to think about all that before you go out.
Casey Atwood, 3rd quickest. Tomorrow on Fox Saturday Baseball, interleague action returns. Chipper Jones leads the Atlanta Braves into Yankee Stadium. Or you'll see Troy Glaus and the Angels battle the Dodgers. or other regional action. It all starts at 1 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area as you watch the entire baseball season unfold across the Fox network.
That's usually a pretty good sign. When you get out of your car after qualifying and you're willing to go over and talk to the fans and sign autographs, that means I'm pretty happy with what I did. I'm pretty happy with myself.
And they want you to come over and sign.
Yeah. Come on over here.
Dick Berggren.
Well, last August, Dale Earnhardt Jr. cut a lap at over 191 miles an hour. Today, the fastest laps we have seen have been right around 187. Why are they slower now than they were in August?
I don't know. I just think the good guys ain't went yet. So I think somebody will break that time we ran last year, but I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. I think the tires a little bit slower, but not to say that that's they brought the wrong tire all year long. We all like the tire. I think all the drivers are real happy with what Goodyear's done this year. We've got more consistent, and that's all we need, especially an experienced team like ourselves. So,
all right. Good luck in your qualifying run. Thanks.
Mike Wallace on the speedway and Jim Smith's number 7. His best start in 4 Michigan appearances, 27th. Season's best start, 20th at Martinsville.
Yeah, and if anybody runs 191 mile an hour today, they got to pick up a second over what they practice. You know, they might run 188 or so, but they're not going to be up in that 190 range. I don't believe today, Larry.
I don't either. But I talked to Mike Wallace for a little bit last night, and I said, Mike, how's things going? You got your new crew chief, Jim Long. He said, Larry, we're progressively getting there. We're communicating. He said, it's just, we're a little bit off in several areas. And in this sport today, if you're just a little bit off in 2 or 3 areas, it's a difference between winning and running 25th.
Well, I believe he had to get up out of the throttle off. He was going to run it right out there against the wall. I think he had to get up out of the throttle a little bit on this lap.
First lap, 38.92, and that's very similar to what Casey Atwood's first lap was.
And what you fight here, Mike and Larry, as you know, Larry, is loose in, tight off. Car will be a little free getting down in the corner, which is breathtaking for the driver. Then you get it cranked to the left, wide open in the throttle, and it wants to push right out into the fence coming off.
I mean, that's the thing. The law of physics takes over. You're back in the throttle so early back in the corner. You're carrying so much speed on the exit of the corner, the racetrack won't take it. You got to back off the throttle.
Not enough banking there to hold you.
So Mike Wallace's first lap is 4th fastest. Jeff Green, Matt Kenseth, Casey Atwood, Mike Wallace, and Bobby Hamilton. The qualifiers so far.
Sean Elliott had it all until he was stricken by a mysterious illness. Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
A powerful Hunter ceiling fan can cut your summer cooling costs up to 40%. And it's so quiet, the only sound you'll hear is your electric bill dropping. Hunter. Silence is golden. It's our quietest, most powerful motor ever, designed to help you save up to 40% on summer cooling bills. The patented Air Max motor, only in Hunter ceiling fans. Hunter, quiet for life.
Something beautiful is in your future. Keep your eyes peeled. The Western Whopper.
Excuse me. Can I join you?
We're kind of busy right now.
The Whopper says, beauty is in the taste buds of the beholder. Try the tasty flame-broiled Western Whopper.
Now that was beautiful.
In the land of burgers, Whopper is king.
Introducing new Armor All Protectant Wipes. Armor All Shine and Protection, now in a wipe.
For tools to help your business better target audiences, design direct mailings, and effectively get new customers, visit USPS.com.
Will she feel the same way if you lose your hair?
Sure. She'll just feel it about somebody else.
Relax. Rogaine is clinically proven to help stop hair loss and regrow hair. Does she want you to use Rogaine? Better ask.
Well, Welcome back to Bud Pole qualifying at Michigan International Speedway. For Buckshot Jones' first lap, 38.965, fifth fastest of the 6 drivers, and he jumps to second on the board with a great second lap.
We've seen him do that. We saw him do it at Charlotte.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
One of the only cars that I can remember that picked up a lot, just like he did then.
That's one of the advantages of 2 laps, Darrell. You find out what you can't do the first lap and what you got to do the second lap.
And again, I think that's really a product of air pressure. How do you go out? Are you going to run 2 laps? You're going to run 1 lap. Start the tires down a little lower if you're going to run both of them, and it will come in for you on the second lap.
And it did for Buckshot. He's second quickest. Here's Steve.
Thanks, Mike. With Casey Atwood. Casey, happy with your lap?
It was okay. I mean, I'd like to have been a lot better. We picked up a little bit, but you know, we're just kind of on that time where it could go either way, and I'm just pretty nervous about it. I think that lap would have put us, I think, 15th in practice, but everybody's going to pick up, so we'll just have to see.
Good luck.
Buckshot's lap was 38.750 if you're scoring at home, 185.806 miles.
That's going to be right on the break. I think he's right. That's a bubble time, and we'll see that as we go along here, I believe. I think that'll make it in, but he's going to be holding his breath right to the very end.
Brett Bodine driving his own number 11. He's required a provisional to make his last 4 races here at Michigan.
Yeah, you saw where he was on the pole here in the spring of 1993, and that was actually his last pole he's ever.
Car looks good. It's got a good line around the bottom. He's about middle of the track, which, there again, you can run so many different lines around here, and all of it depends on how hard you enter the turn. Back off early, you can run low. Drive in hard, you might slide up.
Third quickest, though. First lap, 38.78. Another thing that will let some run right here, see where Brett's running about a lane high, is you pull such a high gear here because the speed requires it. If you get the car too low, it binds the car up and won't pull that high gear.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about 2 laps. You get up some momentum. So that's why we can probably see some of these guys run a little quicker on their second lap.
If you move up the track from the bottom a lane or 2, is that like running a lower gear in the car? I mean, keep it the way you can keep it.
Well, if you move up, just think about it. It's a bigger circle. So you got to turn the steering wheel. If you run down around the bottom, you got to turn it a lot. That's going to bind the car up. If you run up a little bit, a little less. And the higher you go, the less you have to crank on that steering wheel, the less you're going to bog the motor down.
So Brett Bodine is third fastest with his first lap behind Jeff Green and Buckshot Jones. Dick?
Well, last year, Bobby Labonte was the man to beat. He won the pole for this event, but in the practice session so far today, not the fastest, 20th. So how much have you done to this race car to try and get a shot at the pole?
Well, a little bit. I don't know that we're looking for a pole, but we're just looking for a good qualifying run. Guys worked real hard. We made a lot of changes right there before the end and improved a lot from even the last 15 minutes of practice. So hopefully we can get a little bit better for qualifying, and if not, that's the way it goes. But, you know, we're always looking for a little bit more.
How hard do you run during a qualifying session here? Can you run pretty close to wide open, or have you got to come right out of it?
You'd have to come out of it some, but, you know, you're back in the gas pretty quick, and the quicker you are back in the gas, the better off you are. So you're driving the corner pretty hard, but, yeah, you got to be smooth and smart and not overdrive it. But, yeah, you know, again, you got to be back in the gas as fast as possible and drive in as far as your car will let you drive.
Okay, Shawn is on the racetrack, and the crowd is going nuts.
Trying to make her first Winston Cup race. She attempted qualifying in California, broke something in the rear end, and was not able to make the field, and her practice times today have not been that encouraging.
This was the same car that she attempted to qualify with at Fontana. Yeah, looked like she had a good lap going at Fontana and broke a gear.
Yeah, she did. She really stepped it up when it come time to qualify there in California. I mean, just real anxious here to see how she does on this qualifying attempt. The car looks good, and everybody's on their feet cheering for her. Not a bad effort, guys. Not bad at all.
Tied for fourth with Matt Kenseth, 38.808. Fifth fastest. That tie settled in favor of Kenseth.
That's 4.5 tenths quicker than she ran in practice. And, you know, Shauna's got a lot of experience surrounding her in this race car. She's got Michael Kranifus, at one time was involved with Jeremy Mayfield as the owner, Robert Yates Motors, and Joe Dan Bailey, who was with Richard Childress Racing as her crew chief.
Yeah, I think she tried to drive it in a little hard and pick up that extra little bit there into 3, and it cost her. She took off up the hill a little bit. But listen, she runs well here. She's run a lot of ARCA races here, and this is a good racetrack for her to come to.
First lap will be the lap of record. I like that on the hood, Darrell, says you go, girl.
I like that, too. And that's not a bad effort.
Nope, she is fifth fastest so far. Jeff Green paces Bud Pole qualifying.
Earlier today, Ted went to Napa, and because it was the Race into Napa sale and he spent $40, they gave him a free Napa Racing T-shirt, molded into the shape of Napa's NASCAR Winston Cup car.
I should have left it in the package.
The Race into Napa sale at participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care Center. This Friday through Monday, save big on leather palm gloves and our 8-piece screwdriver set with free mini torch, but only if you race into your participating Napa Auto Parts store.
Cheez-It, made with real cheese.
A beer is only as good as the ingredients used to brew it. That's why Budweiser uses only the finest all-natural ingredients, hand-selected to deliver a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you won't find in any other beer at any price.
Americans love power. And they love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton. The power that works for you. Welcome.
Nice crowd on hand for butt pole qualifying at Michigan International Speedway. The infield's pretty full, as well as the front stretch grandstand, and they just saw Mike Skinner run off a lap at 38.361, and by a quarter of a second, he is the fastest car so far.
Yeah, but don't get out and do the icky shuffle yet, because the man that's got a good shot of knocking him off is on the speedway. Whoa, he got a little wiggly going into 3 right there. That's not unusual. Sticker tires, they'll do that sometimes.
Ryan looking for his 4th Winston Cup start and looking for his 2nd pole. Fastest in practice. Last year he ran the ARCA race here. Was a contender to win it. Lost a cylinder and still finished 7th on the lead lap.
Well, this bad boy here has got some straightaway speed in her now. I tell you, I saw that at Charlotte. That thing will shoot down that straightaway.
And as you heard him say in his interview, they did test up here. This is the same car that he run at Charlotte. They did test up here, but it was with an ARCA car. In fact, the car that he tested, they crashed at Kansas last week in an ARCA race.
That's as good a straightaway speed as I've seen, but he's got his hands full. That thing's a little bit loose. He's waltzing her off the course.
Boy, look at his hands in there.
She got the hospital hop in her there.
He is busy. No, second. 38.51, second fastest.
Yeah, the car is just way too loose for him to really gas it up hard. He's really having to fight the wheels. That's kind of typical Michigan. Cars will go loose on you here when they've been real good in practice.
Darryl, the rule of thumb I always went by here is when your car was just right, you tighten it up just a little more for qualifying. Track gets slick. Driver tries a little harder. Got to tighten that thing up a little bit for qualifying.
You just don't have enough grip here for the speed we're running. Running over 200 mile an hour down these straightaways. Need a little more. Whoa! He's working with her, isn't he, boys?
And he's using all the racetrack.
There wasn't any left there.
A little slower. Tenth slower.
38.514. That's about 1,500ths off of Mike Skinner, but Ryan Newman is 2nd fastest. Here's Steve.
With Buckshot Jones, just ran a lap of 38.750. Buckshot, your thoughts on your qualifying attempt?
A lot better than what we run in practice. I think we run like a 91. We thought we'd run maybe a 70 in qualifying, but a 75 will get us in the field, and maybe it'll give us a good start position.
All right, let's go to Dick Berggren.
Ward Burton has won the pole for the Michigan poles, I should say, on 2 separate occasions. How is the car for today?
It's okay. It feels like we need a little bit more grip in the front. I don't know whether that's aero or something that we're missing on the chassis, but we definitely gained on it since we've gotten here, but we've still made about 4 more changes from last practice to right now.
The crowd is going wild. Dale Earnhardt Jr. about to take the clock. I got to tell you, his car runner, Bill Davis, is home from the hospital, and that's good news.
And this cat here, he holds the track record at 191 miles an hour.
Set here last August in 2 of his 3 races at Michigan. He's qualified 6th or better.
Good run at Dover last week, 3rd. He was 15th in practice, and if he can pick it up to be a pole contender or not. Decent straightaway speed, but not as fast as some have gone.
Ran a 38.71 in practice.
Look at that nose, Larry. That thing is sealed off right down against the ground. Just what you like to see.
Not real busy inside there, though. Nice and steady.
Oh, yeah.
Second, 38.470. Just 4/100ths off of Mike Skinner. He's still on it.
Again, there's a chance. There's always a chance that you can pick up those other 200 or 300s that you need on your second lap. The motor doesn't get too hot and tires don't build up too much. Once you know you got one in the bank, sometimes you can let it hang out and go for it, and it pays off. And they're calling him and telling him as soon as he takes the white flag or what his lap was. Let's see what his second one is. It is
a little quicker. A teeny-weeny bit. Not quick enough to get the pole. 38.409.
It was worth making the run for. Picked up 700.
And that's teeny-weeny.
That's teeny-weeny, but that's might keep you up there in the top 2 or 3.
All right. Here's Steve with Shauna Robinson.
And she's pretty happy, Mike. Shauna, good run.
Well, I hope so. You know, the hardest part is right now waiting to see if we're going to make this race or not, but we knew we needed to pick up a certain amount, and the Aaron's car did what I needed to do on this run. You know, they promised me it wasn't going to be loose, because the last one I made in practice, I just about lost it. And it was where I needed it to be. It was a little loose, but that's what we wanted, and I just need to know that the Aaron's car is going to be in the field. I think the Yates horsepower picked me up. There's no question about that, and I've got to give them credit. And this crew has really, there's nobody who wants it more than I do and more than this team does. And we're here to make a career out of this, not just history. This is about racing next year, and that's what's important to me.
Good luck, Shauna.
Thank you.
She hopes to run for Winston Cup Rookie of the Year in 2002.
And I can't wait. I'm pulling for it.
All right. Get out your fireproof suit. Here come the flames. Jeff Gordon has 5 top 10 starts in his last 6 races here.
My car is red hot. Your car ain't doodly squat.
He's won 2 Bud Poles, the most recent one coming in 1999, and he has 3 Bud Poles, or he has 2 Bud Poles this year, Rockingham and Martinsville.
Good straightaway speed. Which, no big surprise, but the attitude of the car is great.
All right, let's get the first lap on Gordon. Smooth off turn 4. He was one of the quickest in practice, and I missed the basket. 38.247 for Gordon. That will bump Mike Skinner from the pole. Mike Skinner is with Steve Byrne.
Yeah, but Mike Skinner ran a great lap. Tell us about it, Mike.
It was a good lap for a low Chevrolet. You know, we were 42nd on the sheet most of the morning, and, you know, we were just hoping that we could make the top 15 anyway, and they made some changes on the car, and the last time we went out, we was in the top 10, and it was a good lap for us. I could have run a little bit faster if I'd have run a second lap, but I didn't really feel like I could, and I pushed a little bit coming to the flag, and that hurt us a little bit, but it was a good lap for us, and we'll take it. We'll race them from there.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
I tell you, though, DW, that pole sitter, I like those flames for Sunday. That's the car that he ran second at Atlanta, second at Fontana, top 5 at Texas, and was going to whoop him at Charlotte.
Is that your pick?
Yes, sir.
Detroit's Nightly Sports Report. Your teams, your town, your show. The Detroit Sports Report, tonight at 10.
Coming to Meadowbrook Music Festival on the campus of Oakland University. June 19th, Mindy McCready, together with Tim Rushlow. Mindy McCready and Tim Rushlow. Then Sunday, July 1st, Mary Chapin Carpenter. Under the Stars in Meadowbrook. Tickets now at palacenet.com, the box office, Ticketmaster, or by phone.
Let's see the perfect notebook through your eyes. A big vivid screen, a fast Intel Pentium 3 processor, one-touch internet access. How about the power to turn heads? Oh, you'd like a deal. Okay, get the compact Presario 1700T Internet Notebook PC for just $14.98. Order today and add a quick dock port replicator for just $49 more. You truly are a person with vision. Call toll-free 1-888-267-5869 now.
Will she feel the same way if you lose your hair?
Sure. She'll just feel it about somebody else.
Don't worry, I love you. Anyway, you don't have to lose it.
Are you talking about Rogaine?
Rogaine? Maybe. Why not?
Rogaine. Yeah, why not? It's simple, it's safe, and it's clinically proven to help stop hair loss and regrow hair. Does she want you to use Rogaine? Better ask.
Sunday, it's a special edition of NASCAR Victory Lane. Go behind the scenes with Kevin Harvick. Witness a weekend of racing through the eyes of a rising star. NASCAR Victory Lane Special, Sunday on Fox Sports Net.
Scores and highlights are only half the story. Now, the nightly show that delivers more coverage, more analysis, plus live interaction where you get to sound off.
How did this show get out of control?
The National Sports Report at 10:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to Michigan, where Jeff Gordon climbs from his car after what is presently the full sitting run. Off come the earplugs and where are the sunglasses? They'll be there in a second. Bobby Hamilton Jr. Good run for, what'd you call him?
Hambone.
Young Hambone.
Yeah. Young Hambone.
38.645 for Bobby. Currently, he is 6th. Let's meet the fastest gun in town with Steve Burns.
Boy, I'll say, how about a lap of 38.247, Mike? Jeff, that is quick.
Yeah, that's a lot faster than I thought we were going to go. Guys just did a great job. You know, we were a little bit tight the last set of tires and we went to make a run and freed it up just a little bit. And, man, I tell you, don't know how it could have been much better than that. For the time of day, the sun being out, man, awesome effort for the DuPont Chevrolet. Real proud of these guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But ain't don't forget.
Oh, I know, I understand.
Bobby Labonte, who won the pole in California and is the defending Bud Pole winner for this race, has 2 Bud Poles here in 17 starts.
And the car looks good. He's dropped it down on the apron almost on his first lap here. We'll see if he takes a second. That's a 75, 38.75.
8th fastest for Labonte.
I believe he can pick up on that.
Well, he always runs so good here at Michigan. They would tell me 13 consecutive races he's finished on the lead lap here, plus won several of those races.
It's going to be about the same, looks to me like. Thought he might be able to pick up a skosh, but based on his back straightaway speed, which is pretty indicative, it's going to be about the same lap time, I think.
48 cars here for 43 positions as Labonte completes his run and is a little bit slower, actually. So on the Shauna Robinson watch, to qualify in the top 36, she'd need 12 drivers slower than her to make the show, and right now there are 3 drivers who've run laps slower. Sunday night, a very special NASCAR Victory Lane here on the net at 9 p.m. They're going to follow Kevin Harvick's entire weekend here and capsulize it into the Victory Lane time slot and give you an idea just how busy a Winston Cup driver is on a race weekend.
It will appear that it's in fast forward, but that's just how he moves.
Yes, he does anyway. That's right. Dick Bergeron.
Well, it definitely helps to start up front here at Michigan. 60% of all the winners here in this racetrack have started in the first 4 positions, but last year Jeremy Mayfield started 22nd, led more laps than anybody else, might have won the thing except the motor blew up. How important is it to you to have a good qualifying run today?
Well, we're hoping, we can get up front somewhere, and the car was really good, and, I think we ended up like 17th or something in practice, but if we can get in the top 20 somewhere, we'll be happy with it, and we proved last year you can start back there and still lead and run up front, so I just feel real good about the Mobile 140 here. We feel like it's our weekend, and hopefully we'll turn things around here.
There you go. That's what we like, a positive attitude.
Thanks, Dick. Ward Burton's on the speedway. Good to hear that his car owner, Bill Davis, is home after an extended stay in the hospital in High Point for kidney problems.
Yeah, Mike, and we really do need to pray for Papa Joe because he's in the hospital again. You know, he's in just recently, and he's back in again, so he needs our prayers.
That's Papa Joe Hendrick, Rick Hendrick's dad.
Yes, sir.
Ward has 5 top 10 starts in his last 6 races here at Michigan, including 2 poles, but this effort is disappointing. 14th of the 15 drivers thus far on his first lap, but again, we don't know if he's just building up for lap 2.
No, and the interesting thing, I talked to Ward this morning, and he said, one thing about it, DW, I got my favorite motor in. Now, most of these other guys talk about their favorite cars. He said this is his favorite motor. So a lot of these guys won't change engines from qualifying here. 400-lap race or 400-mile race, might be able to practice qualifying race same one.
You know, talk about the Dodge motor. One thing they've been fighting this year, they've been making good power, but one thing they've been fighting, the motor's a little heavy, almost 30 pounds heavier than a Ford or GM motor, but they have given NASCAR a motor that's about 26 pounds lighter waiting for approval, so they're looking forward to that.
And, yeah, look at Shauna.
Well, Ward Burton's misfortune is a little better news for Shauna Robinson. There are 4 drivers now, including Ward, who have run a slower lap than her. 12 drivers would have to be slower than Shauna for her to qualify for her first Winston Cup start.
We're a third of the way on them.
Well, and not to wish bad luck on anybody. Dale Jarrett, what were thought to be bruised ribs have now been diagnosed as broken ribs from this. His qualifying crash at Lowe's Motor Speedway in Charlotte.
I draw up every time. I just look at that, and it makes me hurt because I know what a lick that is on the left side, driver's side. Man, that hurts.
He ran a strong race at Dover, though, last weekend. Now, this weekend, he's concentrating solely on the Winston Cup car, which means he is withdrawn from tomorrow's International Race of Champions round.
And his son, Jason, is on the pole for the ARCA race, so they're having a pretty good weekend here. Let's see how he does. He being his father.
This is the car that he sat on the pole with at Las Vegas and finished second. Todd Parrott said he started to run this car at Fontana. They decided they'd save it here for Michigan.
And the car, look at that attitude of that car, Larry. That thing is sucked down.
He started 6th or better here in 7 of his last 8 races. Won the pole here for this race in 1997.
Yeah. And Larry, along with Davey Allison, we fell victim to his first career victory here in 1991, a photo finish with that 28 car here in August of 91 when he was driving for the Wood brothers.
First lap for Dale, 7th fastest, 38.663.
That was a great race. They was a beating and a banging off turn 4. Smoke was flying, and across the start-finish line, David said, I don't know if I beat him or not. And we did.
I'll tell you one thing, that's the fastest car here down the straightaway by far. That's a 10th quicker than anything I've clocked on this lap.
Second lap for Jarrett is slower.
And he didn't pick up, but he's not lacking for speed, I can tell you that. Maybe he needs to tighten her up in the corners, but she's loose down the straightaway.
Mark Martin getting ready to go as Jeff Gordon and Mike Skinner pace Bud Pole qualifying at Michigan.
Hey, Dale, you won the Pepsi 400. Wasn't it cool setting off all those fireworks from Victory Lane? You ought to know. You won it last year. Yeah, I'm thinking about going for 2 in a row. I don't think so. UPS team is planning on delivering me another win. Well, we'll see about it. Yeah, and of course now there's 41 other guys that might have something to say about it.
NASCAR's Pepsi 400, Saturday night, July 7th. It's anybody's race. For special ticket packages, visit our website or call 386-253-RACE.
Did you know that scientists have discovered the hairless gene? If you have thinning hair, call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now and get your copy of our latest report. You can read about exclusive interviews with doctors and scientists and learn about the different options that Hair Club has available today in the fight against hair loss. Hair Club is the one source for hair loss information.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now and get this booklet or CD-ROM free.
Now that I've got my hair back, I'm glad I made that call.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB today.
It's the rumble. It's the rivalry. It's the rush. It's NASCAR Winston Cup, IROC, ARCA, Saturday and Sunday, June 9th and 10th. The rumble, the rivalry, the rush, Michigan International Speedway. It's all good.
This just in, the King is stopping traffic on South MLK in Lansing. Let's see what's going on. It looks like the King is sending everyone into Celebrity Auto Sales to check out their used car inventory. Celebrity Auto must have great deals if this guy is this excited. We offer only certified used vehicles with a 27-point safety inspection, and we can get financing for almost anyone. Come see what the King is raving about at Celebrity Auto Sales, 6272 South MLK in Lansing.
Today's aerial coverage provided by the Monster.com blimp. Monster.com, proud sponsor of the 2002 Olympic Winter Games and U.S. Olympic team. Rick Mast ran a lap at 38.945 seconds. That is 15th of the 16 drivers that have run so far. And waiting to run is Mark Martin. Here's Dick Berggren.
And Mark is the most versatile of all the Michigan drivers you are going to see today. He has run this speedway in 4 different divisions: the ASA, IROC, Busch Grand National, and Winston Cup. And he has won in every single one of those divisions. And he won the pole here in 1990. So how good is the car for this weekend?
I don't think it's going to be too good. We were 13th fastest in practice, and that was getting everything I knew how to get. And with the way the car feels, it's going to be a real challenge to get it in race trim. Feeling excellent. Usually when we fight the problem that we've got right here, it's just worse in race trim. So I think we're going to be challenged this weekend, and we'll work as hard as we can at it. And I'll get the best lap I can here, see what it is, and then we'll take our little pieces of practice tomorrow and hope that we hit something that will work.
Okay, good luck to you, Mark.
Robert Presley's on the speedway. Number 77, first lap 38.851. That's 14th fastest.
And Presley, you know, had a good run in this race last year. He finished the top 10, so has a good car for this racetrack.
Well, it's the same race car he ran so good with a couple of weeks ago at Charlotte. They put a new front end on this car, and they felt pretty confident bringing it here.
Yeah, he was running great at Charlotte, you know, and he got caught up in somebody else's mess.
But didn't practice well here, Darrell. He wasn't among the top 40 in today's practice session. He's never had a top 20 start here at Michigan.
But, you know, talk about the engines in this car. I've been given some wrong information all year long. This is a Penske motor, but Penske and Jasper Motorsports merged their engine program. Penske sold a third of his engine program to Jasper, and it's actually called Penske Jasper Engine Company. They supply motors for Robert Presley, Rusty Wallace, Jeremy Mayfield, and Ryan Newman.
So Presley is 14th of the qualifiers so far.
Sean Elliott appeared to have it all. But at the height of his career, he was stricken by a mysterious illness.
He was sick. I mean, he was just sick.
Sean Elliott's career and health in jeopardy tonight.
That would test his will to survive and reveal his true courage.
I'm very fortunate to even be here.
Sean Elliott, Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
Something beautiful is in your future. Keep your eyes peeled. The Western Whopper.
Excuse me. Can I join you?
We're kind of busy right now.
The Whopper says, beauty is in the taste buds of the beholder. Try the tasty flame-broiled Western Whopper.
That was beautiful.
In the land of burgers, Whopper is king.
When you travel on business, don't downsize. Amerisize at AmeriSuites. Need more room to spread out? Get more workspace and features like high-speed internet access, plus more space to unwind in a comfortable suite for the price of an ordinary hotel room. And when it comes to breakfast, don't downsize. Amerisize. Get AmeriSuites free bountiful breakfast buffet every morning. Next time, check into AmeriSuites. Don't downsize. Amerisize.
The greatest will be here at Michigan this weekend.
Ain't I pretty?
On the side of Bill Elliott's car.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Now here's the deal on Kenny Walsh.
All call me Darrell Lee.
They do have a sponsor for the season, Duke's Mayonnaise. But they are the major sponsor for most races, but the associate sponsor for 5 or 6 races. That's why there's just a small decal, and they're looking for a major sponsor for those events, and they're looking for speed, because he is 19th of 19 drivers.
Thought maybe they couldn't keep that mayonnaise on the side of the car. Slid off, maybe.
Meanwhile,
back at the ranch,
Steve, well, that's a dressing. Steve is with Dale Jarrett.
With Dale, 38.663. Tell us about your lap, Dale.
Well, that's the fastest we've been, but unfortunately, we started off pretty far behind today, and just been gaining on it each time. 1 and 2 was a really good corner for us, and 3, I got in there, and car just pushed in the middle. We started to adjust the air pressure. We just did and probably should have, and that might have made the lap a little bit better.
Dale, the big question, I know you flew your doctor up here. You've got the torn anterior serratus muscle off the rib cage. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm not great, but a little bit of pain there today, so we'll just have to work, and, you know, hopefully by Sunday we'll get as much of it out of the way as we possibly can. But, you know, this isn't as hard a track on me as what Dover was, so hopefully it'll be a pretty good weekend.
Thank you, Dale. Okay.
Now, this is big. This is Bill Elliott's first trip to Michigan with the number 9 since the glory days.
Wow. And he definitely had some glory days here. 7 wins, that leads all the active drivers. 6 poles, that leads active drivers. But in the last 22 races, only 4 top 5 finishes.
And fast down the straightaway. I don't know how that's going to compute.
Third fastest, 38.405. He is 1600ths off the pole.
That's that baby in the wind. That thing is handling where I like for him to handle, down that back straightaway.
Bill, Ernie, and Dan Elliott, the brothers, and their father George, brought a Thunderbird up here to Jackson, Michigan. Businessmen adopted the car for the weekend. One of those businessmen was Harry Melling, who went on to not only sponsor but buy the Elliott team. And on they went to glory with the number 9. So for fans in this area, Bill Elliott in a car with that number has a lot of significance here. Let's see what lap 2 brings. A little bit off on lap 2, so he's third fastest.
And you know, the significance of Muhammad Ali being on the car, it's called the Celebrations of Champions, and it benefits the Dodge Diversity School Program, which is for minority kids that have an aspiration to become mechanics. That's neat. Really a neat deal. Neat program.
From Louisville, Kentucky, where you and I'll be close by next week.
That's right.
Doing the Busch race.
And on the Shauna watch, 7 cars have now qualified slower than Shauna Robinson. 5 more, and she's in the show. Dick Berggren?
Well, Rusty Wallace is responsible for driving the car, and Robin Pemberton, turn around, look at the camera. He's responsible for setting the car up. Which of you 2 guys is more important in one of these qualifying runs, Rusty?
No, that's not true. I just got to have the car to drive. If I can't hustle unless the car won't. If the car will handle, then I can hustle and maybe pick up a little something. But if it's loose or pushing too much, then we got a problem. So it's an equal deal.
How good a job has he done for you?
He's done a lot better job than I could ever ask for anybody. That's the truth. He's been with me forever and ever, and it's a real comfortable feeling to have a crew chief with you that long. I think we've probably got the longest relationship going in Winston Cup right now, and we have won already. We're great in the point standings. We're led a lot of laps, and so I think the older we get, the better we're doing.
Something like that. They are good together. They really are. Robin Pemberton, Rusty Wallace.
Thanks, Dick. Rusty's teammate, Jeremy Mayfield, is on the speedway. He has 2 top 10 starts in his last 3 appearances here. Nearly won that race here last year. First lap is 5th quickest, 38.433.
That's about 4/10 quicker than he ran in practice. We're seeing that a lot. The track temperature has not changed, though. There's really not any clouds in the skies. In practice, it was 119 degrees. Start of qualifying, 119. It's still 119, 21 cars into the session.
And he's looking to rebound. Mayfield has not started in the top 20 in the last 3 races.
Yeah, traditionally not a good qualifying team. Traditionally, they have trouble getting the thing pulled down to the racetrack, but today they're not having that problem.
Second lap for Mayfield. And that's a little slower.
He's 5th.
5th fastest based on his first lap, behind Jeff Gordon, Mike Skinner, Bill Elliott, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Now, you saw how low that car was going down the track. Look what happens when it slows down. Look how much it raises up across the front there. That's how high it has to be to get through tech. See how high that right front corner is?
You're watching NASCAR qualifying on Fox Sports Net.
We're here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on, wipe it off. No rubbing, no buffing. New Finish restored a deep, hard shine even to this weather-beaten car. We polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. Even after heavy-duty detergents and powerful scrubbing, the water still beads. New Finish.
Top-rated New Finish, available at Rite Aid, Ace Hardware, Pep Boys, AutoZone, Walgreens, Kmart, and other leading stores.
Something beautiful is in your future. Keep your eyes peeled. The Western Whopper.
me. Can I join you?
We're kind of busy right now. The Whopper says, beauty is in the taste buds of the beholder. Try the tasty flame-broiled Western Whopper.
That was beautiful.
In the land of burgers, Whopper is king.
For every job, there's a hard way, or there's the Dremel way. The Dremel rotary tool with more than 150 available accessories. This Father's Day, it's the perfect gift solution.
Will she feel the same way if you lose your hair?
Sure. She'll just feel it about somebody else.
Relax. Rogaine is clinically proven to help stop hair loss and regrow hair. Does she want you to use Rogaine? You better ask.
Office Depot and save $20 instantly on all HP scanners over $99.99.
Well, welcome back to Michigan. Rusty Wallace getting his supplemental restraint device hooked up there, the one that hooks to his helmet via those red straps. And Jason Leffler, his team and his sponsor Singular Wireless, trying to raise money for Special Olympics. You see them on the hood of that car. 38.845. Jason, 16th fastest.
Through this program, their goal is, I think, in 4 to 5 years, trying to raise $40 million. But what a great cause.
They have some guests here this weekend as well. Jerry Nadeau on the Speedway. Let's check with Steve.
Well, Michigan's been a great track historically for Bill Elliott. And Bill, tell us about your qualifying run.
Well, uneventful, the way I like them. Everything went well. I mean, the guys did a really good job. I told them if we didn't change the balance, I really like the balance of the race car. And it come out, and we picked up some time. So, you know, here typically in the past at Michigan, I hadn't really been able to really pick things up. But the last few times I've been here, I'm starting to be able to understand this new package of springs and chassis and aero and the whole bit. And every time I come back here, we seem to get a little bit better.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Jerry Nadeau's first lap, 39.178, is 21st fastest.
And what Bill was talking about, good balance. The car wasn't tight, it wasn't pushing, it was turning good, but it wasn't loose. And that's what you got to have here to run fast. You can't be pushing, but you can't be loose.
No, if you're going to hustle the car like the driver likes to do, your driver gets pumped up when he gets ready to go qualify. He's going to drive it in there a little harder than he has all day. He's going to get back on that throttle a little quicker than he has all day. It's got to be there for him.
Jerry Nadeau's second lap is quicker, but does not move him up in the standings. And for those of you on the Shauna Robinson watch, 9 drivers have now qualified slower than Shauna. If 3 more drivers are slower, she's in the show. Ricky Rudd signing a few there for the fans as he comes out to qualify. Tomorrow, you'll see ARCA here on Fox Sports Net, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and then on FX, Winston Cup practice at 8 p.m. On Sunday, NASCAR This Morning kicks us off here on the net at 10. Then the Winston Cup race on FX at 12:30 Eastern Time, and NASCAR Victory Lane, All Access Kevin Harvick, 9 p.m. on Fox Sports Net Sunday night. Mark Martin said he didn't think his car was that good. We're about to see. He is one of 3 drivers to score 2 bug poles this season, and he has 6 starts of 7th or better in his last 7 trips here.
This is the car that he ran that was brand new at the Winston, and then 1 week later at the World 600, ended up a good top 5 finish. They elected not to take this car to Dover last week, saving it for this weekend here at Michigan.
Got a nice low line right around the inside. A little different than some of the other guys have run, but I like that line. Going in a little high in the 3, drop it right down to the middle of the turns 3 and 4, and then on the apron here at the start line.
And he is 9th fastest with a lap of 38.653.
He's going to shut her down, and that's about the same speed that he actually, just a tick quicker than he ran in practice. From a 38.70 in practice.
He didn't seem all that optimistic about picking up much, so he was correct in his assumption. Again, see how high that front end is, how high that right front corner is. That thing was right down on the ground. as he went around the racetrack. That's those stall springs and all that rebound in the shocks, and then the aerodynamics, 750 pounds of downforce pushing down on that nose. You don't have to have a lot of spring to get her down when you got that kind of downforce.
Well, here's the threat to the pole, Rusty Wallace.
Well, based on how he run at California and having won this race last year, not this race, but running at this racetrack last year, the second race here, I think it was, this guy's got to be somebody to be considered as a contender to win a race. And for the pole, as far as that goes.
I'm kind of surprised that June 87 run is his only Bud pole in 34 races at Michigan.
I've seen Rusty qualify here a lot, obviously, and he always seems to be one of those drivers who comes in and says, I don't know what happened. We were a lot better than that. Sometimes I think he gets the car just a little bit too free, trying to get too much out of it.
This is the car that he did win Fontana. Boy, he kept it out long time.
Oh, yeah, but look, see how
away.
that thing comes down into the bottom of that corner? I mean, that's a great line to run if he's making time. It's hard to tell.
He's trying to straighten that corner out as much as possible.
Trying to run, just kind of arc it down in there and run across the banking.
That's a road racing line. Running in there way up high and drop it down for that late apex and get off the corner.
He's got good straightaway speed, which that doesn't surprise me. This is going to be a lap that's going to be in the top 5, I think.
This is the car that he won Fontana with a few weeks ago, and also he ran it in the World 600 at Charlotte 2 weeks ago.
First lap for Wallace. Good lap. 8th fastest, 38.639.
Well, his straightaway speed would indicate it based on what other people are running. He'd have been a little faster than this.
Read where Rusty's son, Greg, 21 years old, he's going to start doing some late model racing. And guess who's going to look after his car? Iron Man Jack Ingram, the late model sportsman series way back then.
Fat Jack, we called him. I mean, there was nobody any tougher on the short tracks of the Busch series back in those days than Jack Ingram. Car number 11, old brown car.
Second lap for Rusty. And it's not going to pick him up. Actually, it's quite a bit slower.
Over 3:10.
Yeah. So Wallace is 8th fastest. 25 drivers have made qualifying attempts. Shauna Robinson, trying to make her first Cup race, is 16th of those 25. Jeff Gordon is fastest.
They are the sacred shrines of baseball, magnificent showcases of the great American game. And you could catch a ball game at these classic parks when you enter the Sears Classic Baseball Tour Sweepstakes. Yankee Stadium in New York. Fenway Park in Boston. Wrigley Field in Chicago. And Baltimore's Camden Yards. Visit the home appliance and home electronics department at Sears and register for a chance to win.
Do you like to be part of a NASCAR family? Here's where you can do just that. Join our NASCAR collecting family through the large selection of die-cast, flags, T-shirts, hats, posters, and more. Join our NASCAR fan family with spirited conversations about your racing memories and favorite drivers.
Rust is the best. No. Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's got it all the way. No, wrong Jeff. Jeff Burton. Burton's the man. No. He's gonna...
Join in at Dad's Race World, northeast corner of Waverly and St. Joe.
I think heaven only knows who's the best.
Why settle for a dead-end job in today's high-tech world? Career Quest can help you get the technical skills to advance in today's market. We offer computer training courses in networking, hardware repair, Microsoft Office, and more. We offer flexible and convenient training to fit your schedule. Training is available days, evenings, weekends, or with our distance learning programs. You can train anywhere, anytime.
Career Quest helped me get the training I needed to advance in today's demanding job market.
Career Quest adds success to your future. Call today.
Detroit's Nightly Sports Report. Your teams, your town, your show. The Detroit Sports Report, nightly at 10.
Kyle Petty's completed his qualifying run, and he's in a position to start in the top 25 for the first time in 13 races. Last 13 races at Michigan, he's been outside the top 25. He is currently 12th.
I wouldn't count this cat on the racetrack out. I tell you, he was pretty quick in practice. He ran awfully strong at California, very similar racetrack. More than likely same race car, more than likely same qualifying motor. Could be big.
You know, we ought to go down to Berwick, Pennsylvania this next Thursday and play in Jimmy's golf tournament. We could probably tear him up pretty good. I don't know if we have enough golf balls, though, based on what we lost the other day, Darrell.
I hear that's the only tournament that you have to wear a helmet in.
I'm not surprised.
But DW, this is the same car. They ran it 3 times this year. They finished 4th at Darlington, 7th at Fontana, and 6th at Charlotte. Donnie Wingo, his crew chief, told me they was very nervous about finding out what this car was about before they ended up wrecking it. So they spent a day in the wind tunnel on Tuesday getting the aero numbers. Then they come to Detroit, put it on the shaker machine that teaches you a lot about the chassis from your notes and your data from a test. So they've learned all they could about this race car before even bringing it here to the racetrack.
See how much they learned? A lot. He is 7th fastest, 38.533. Seriously, next Thursday in Berwick, Pennsylvania, they're going to do a charity golf tournament, Jimmy Spencer's tournament, to raise money for programs to help underprivileged kids in the Berwick area.
He shut her down. I think he got into one. He tried to pick up a little bit there going into one, and it shoved up the racetrack with him, and he shut her down.
Well, he's got a good lap. Jimmy Spencer is 7th fastest.
Now, you see, he's got a little opening in his grill, which that's just crew chief to crew chief, car to car. That's something they may have learned in a wind tunnel.
But also just remember, that last practice run, if you were a little bit loose, the last thing you want to do is put extra tape because it's going to pin the nose more. It's going to make it looser.
All right, let's check with Steve and a driver who had a big backup in the standings last Sunday.
Yeah, Johnny Benson had a tough week at Dover, but this is his home state. Johnny, you guys are pretty good at practice. What do you think you'll qualify?
I don't know. Every time I talk to you guys, I don't quite go as good as I think I'm going to, so we'll just wait and see. But Valvoline Pontiac is pretty good. I don't think we got a shot for the pole. We're going to try, but a couple of the guys pretty good laps, so as long as we're in top 10, we'll be happy. All right, good luck, Johnny. Thanks.
Benson has 2 Bud poles in 33 starts here at Michigan. Another fellow who had a tough week last week, his race ended within the first couple of laps down in turn 1 there. Kenny Schrader ran into somebody else's mess and shortened that car up to about the top of the 2nd M. Got back out there and ran a few laps, but he kind of felt like the red M there on the back.
They were struggling in practice, though. 44th quickest, throwing a lot of things at that car during practice. But you talk about streak. He's been running at the end of 20 consecutive races, going all the way back to June of '91 here at Michigan.
At Dover, that guy on the back right there was on the front when the race started. That's how hard he hit down in turn 1.
Got into the back of a spinning Bill Elliott after Jimmy Spencer crowded Jerry Nadeau, and Nadeau slid up the track in front of Elliott. Schrader hit him. Elliott came down in front of Michael Waltrip, who hit him. It's a big mess.
You remember all that, do you?
Well, it was big.
It made an impression.
It sure did.
Kenny's got great straightaway speed in that old Pontiac, so we'll see how he looks here. He's losing it somewhere else, though. That's as good down the back straightaway as anybody's been. So he just needs to work on his handling package.
19th quickest for Schrader.
And you know, when you run a good straightaway speed and you're off in the corner, that means you really run a good straightaway speed, because remember, how you come off the corner will make that straightaway even better if you get to the gas station.
Yeah, and then you'll hear some guy say, well, I really got through 1 and 2 well. See, he's shutting it down. He said it wasn't even worth running the second lap. But I got through 1 and 2 really well, which will give me a good back straightaway speed, but when I got to turn 3, I didn't know what to do with it.
Steve Burns.
And we just caught up with Sterling Marlin, who's talking to Lee McCall. Well, actually, we interrupted. Sterling, tell us about this Dodge you got here.
This is a new car, and hadn't quite got all the bugs worked out. We kind of slid the body forward on it for a speedway, and kind of wish we had the other car back. But I believe it's going to race good. We just a little off. It runs good on old tires, and we put new ones on, didn't speed up any. So if that's the case, it's going to race real good. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Sterling.
Yeah.
And what Sterling was talking about, sliding the body forward, is where they actually mounted the body on there. You know, the body has to have the same shape no matter where you put it, but fore and aft, a little bit further forward will put a little more front downforce, but it hurts the rear downforce.
Yeah, when you move it forward, this area right in here, that's moving it forward means they slid the body forward. That makes the front fenders longer, and that's good for a super speedway. It usually gives you good straightaway speed, but then as you move to the back,
The problem is the distance from here to here shortens up when you move it back, and it takes rear downforce away from the center of the rear wheel to the rear spoiler. It shortens that area up.
So what you're doing is trying to give it more front down and less rear, and sometimes that balance is no good.
Stacey Compton comes onto the speedway. The Mark Melling, number 92, Melling Racing, is in Charlotte, like most of these teams, but the Melling companies are headquartered right here close by in Brooklyn and Jackson, Michigan. Now, Stacey was supposed to test at Chicago this week, and Darrell brought his helmet, brought his suit, was going to go and do a little consulting.
Yes, Stacey and Chad, the crew chief, asked me to come over and just be with them and help them with communication and drive a Dodge. I had never driven one. I wanted to feel the power, and I was so excited, all pumped up, and it rained for 2 days.
He was 42nd quickest in practice. He's the slowest of 29 right now, though, 39.423. You know, this team is one of the few single-car operations. What they've started doing here in the last few weeks is to have kind of joined forces with the Petty group, sharing wind tunnel information and information gathered in practice, trying to make it believe it is a little bit of a multi-team operation.
Got more alliances in the garage area than on Survivor.
More information.
Yeah. Help me, help me. That's what everybody's asking for. If you're not running up front, well, then everybody's looking for help.
Compton trying to make his second start at Michigan in a Winston Cup car, and the second lap faster moves him up to 27. So now, if one more driver runs slower than 38.80, Shauna Robinson will become the 15th different woman to race in the Winston Cup Series. Be right back.
Sean Elliott had it all until he was stricken by a mysterious illness. Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
Something beautiful is in your future. Keep your eyes peeled. The Western Whopper.
Excuse me. Can I join you?
We're kind of busy right now. The Whopper says, beauty is in the taste buds of the beholder. Try the tasty flame-broiled Western Whopper.
That was beautiful.
In the land of burgers, Whopper is king.
Got a minute? Introducing Jet Wet. Why waste your time and effort with messy liquids or hand-applied product? Look, with Jet Wet, you just spray it on. It's the world's fastest, wettest high-gloss tire shine. No wiping. It's streak-free, fast-drying, water-resistant. And the jet black wet look lasts for weeks. Amazing. Less than 60 seconds for all 4 tires, and you're done. Jet Wet, because wetter is better.
What a great day at the races. There's Ricky Rudd, and heading for victory lane is Dale Jarrett.
Hey, Dale, how about helping me ship that bloomin' onion back home? Ricky, keep your hands off my bloomin' onion. Wait a minute now.
There's nothing like a day at the races.
Can you have your autograph?
Sure.
And nothing tops it off like a big bloomin' onion and a thick, juicy steak.
There you go.
Thanks.
Not too fast for you, Ricky.
Outback Steakhouse, NASCAR's bloomin' favorite.
Earlier today, Ted went to Napa, and because it was the Race into Napa sale, and he spent $40, they gave him a free Napa Racing T-shirt, molded into the shape of Napa's NASCAR Winston Cup car.
I should have left it in the package.
The Race into Napa sale at participating Napa Auto Parts stores and Napa Auto Care Center. This Friday through Monday, save big on our 8-piece screwdriver set with free mini torch and Napa Racing travel mugs, but only if you race into your participating Napa Auto Parts store.
Shauna Robinson is perhaps one qualifying effort away from being in the field for Sunday's Winston Cup race. Hut Strickland, though, is 14th fastest, 38.730 for Ginny Donlevy.
Shauna's saying those magic words. Our Father, who art in heaven. She's praying as she gets in this race.
One of 8 drivers attempting to make their first Winston Cup Michigan start, and for her it would be her first Winston Cup start ever. Terry Labonte is on the speedway. Here's Dick Bergman.
And I'm sort of standing behind Shauna Robinson, who is anxiously looking at everybody's speeds. Shauna, how tense a moment.
That's all I have to say. We're just waiting, just trying to see, I guess, who our favorite driver is today.
All right, well, she's here with the whole crew. Steve Allen, the engine man, is here, and geez, just it seems like half of the racetrack is here, and everybody's pulling for you. Everybody wants you to make the show.
Well, the way it works, if there are 48 cars here, 36 spots available on time. So if 12 drivers are slower, she's in the show, and her favorite driver might be Terry Labonte, whose first lap of 38.864 is slower than Shauna's.
Still has one more lap to run, and we've seen a few cars pick up on that second lap.
Labonte needs to find about 6 100ths.
I don't know. He's running a little different line. I think he's shutting her down. Yeah, he shut it down. I started to say if he's going to run this lap, he's taking a whole different approach.
Dick Berggren, she's in. 12 drivers have run slower than her. She will start the race Sunday.
Shauna, you're in the show.
That's great. Oh, that's great.
Fantastic. And even her husband's over in the back. Jeff Clark's over here to congratulate her. How about that? Oh, here we go.
Jeff Clark, he's engine tuner and jack man.
Do I get a hug too? All right. Well, how much of a relief is this?
This is big relief. I mean, this means everything to us. I mean, our goal is to race next year, and Aaron's supporting me right now, and Aaron's... Go, Aaron! If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for Michael Kranifis, who couldn't be here today because he's not feeling well. I love you, Michael. We wouldn't be here. We would not be here if it wasn't for all these people and this team and the engineers and Eric and Yates Motors. I mean, everyone, all these people that are cheering for me and that want to see me make it. It means a lot. And all those fans up there that I want to be out here next year full-time for them. That's what this is all about.
Take a deep breath. You're in. You've made it.
Shauna Robinson will become the 15th different woman to run a Winston Cup race. Best finish ever, Sarah Christian in Heidelberg, Pennsylvania, finished 5th in October of 1949 and backed it up with a 6th-place finish at Langhorne, Pennsylvania.
She's a mom. You know, she's a hard-working lady. You know, she's an interior decorator. She's decorated a lot of the interiors for a lot of the drivers and does a beautiful job in that area. And now she's a successful Winston Cup race car driver.
And again, you saw her husband there, Jeff Clark. He's a jack man and engine tuner for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
What a great story. Here's another success story. Jeff Burton, the Charlotte winner, 7th fastest on his first lap, 38.529.
And he, too, will shut it down, I do believe.
But I believe that'll be fast enough.
That'll be good enough for this day.
They'll be happy with that.
Jeff Gordon and Mike Skinner pace Bud Bowl qualifying. Shauna Robinson is in the show. More qualifiers after this.
For every job, there's a hard way, or there's the Dremel way. The Dremel rotary tool with right angle attachment. Suddenly, nothing seems out of reach. For handy Father's Day gifts, Dremel is the solution.
Discover your inner Lewis and Clark. Go RVing. Life's a trip. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
What's going on aboard the International Space Station? Early Father's Day gifts from Radio Shack, including greetings from home for cosmonaut Yuri Usachev.
Wow! What's that? Привет, папа. Тебя поздравляю с праздником. Желаю всего наилучшего, успехов в работе и хороших отношений с экипажем.
The talking picture frame, only $14.99, and just one of the surprising Father's Day gifts you'll find at Radio Shack.
Introducing new Armor All Protectant Wipes. Armor All Shine and Protection, now in a wipe.
Office Depot and save $20 instantly on all HP scanners over $99.99.
Welcome.
Tony Stewart, who was excused from the qualifying position he drew to make repairs, he's now in line and getting set to go. John Andretti has just made a lap of 38.594. Another good lap for one of the Petty cars, ninth fastest.
That safely puts all the Petty cars in the field. And Steve Burns, you're with the man that finished fourth last week.
Yeah, we've caught up with DW's hero from Dover, Ricky Craven, who was also very fast in practice here.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm DW's hero. Thanks, DW. I'm just having a great time, and it's like I can think that we've sort of turned the corner, and we're just expecting some big things. Feel real good about our finish last week. The guys gave me a phenomenal car. I'm going to run as hard as I can for a lap, and then Wiley and Everett and I are going to go play miniature golf. So I got a pretty easy day.
That's a big day. Let's go to Dick Bergeron.
Yeah, let's go to the roller coaster in that case, because at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Jeff Burton blew them all away, won, then he goes to Dover, Delaware last week, has a really tough time, and now a great qualifying run. What is happening with all the ups and downs?
Well, if I knew that, we wouldn't be having all these downs. But, you know, this is a really tough sport. It's hard to be successful in this sport all the time. We were working really hard. I don't know. I mean, Dover, we ran as bad as we've ever run before in our lives, and we've done that a couple of times this year. So it's been a struggle, but like I've been saying, we'll just keep fighting. And I left Dover as disappointed as I've left the racetrack in a long time. But come here, and we've had a good day. So we'll see what happens Sunday.
Key is the team is sticking together. Everybody believes in everybody else, and that's how you turn things around.
And Dick, Jack Roush told us that that whole team has been together. I think for a couple of seasons, they've had nobody leave that team. It's a very tightly knit group.
And I told Frankie Stoddard at dinner after Charlotte, no matter what happens the rest of the year, you guys definitely win the Don't Never Give Up award.
That's for sure. There's a look at Frank. Johnny Benson's lap, 38.480, sixth fastest for Benson. So they're well on track for this race here in his home state. He had a pole here back in '97. Tomorrow on Fox, Saturday baseball. It's interleague action. Chipper Jones leads the Braves to the house that Ruth built to take on the Yankees. Or Troy Glaus and the Angels battle the Dodgers. Or you'll see other regional action beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area.
Quite a bit of parity here, Mike. All the brands are represented in the top 10 here. Got a Chevrolet, you got a Dodge, you got a Ford, you got a Pontiac, got all the brands.
And here's the defending champion of this race, Tony Stewart. Now, he has 3 top 10 finishes, including his win in 4 starts at Michigan, and in all those 4 races, he started 19th or worse.
And he was only 18th quickest in practice. This is a brand new car, but he did the Goodyear tire test up here. He's 32nd fastest right now, though. Right a good lap, 39.11. Goodyear brought Tony Stewart in the 20 car, Dave Blaney in the 93 car here 3 weeks ago. What they do when they're going to change a tire for the track, they try to bring at least 2 teams to confirm that that's a good tire, but they normally do race runs, not qualifying runs.
And the trouble being 32nd fastest is your 4th slowest.
Yeah, that's not impressive at all. I'm sure he would agree.
Yeah, that's make the right turn to provisional land.
No, that's 3/10 slower than he ran in practice. See what he does on this second lap, if he finds out what he did wrong.
No, he's slower.
Slower.
Oh,
10th
wow.
slower, 39.22.
So Tony Stewart may be having to take a provisional here at Michigan. He is 32nd on the speed chart.
You're watching NASCAR qualifying on Fox Sports Net.
Got a minute? Introducing Jet Wet. Why waste your time and effort with messy liquids or hand-applied products? Look, with Jet Wet, you just spray it on. It's the world's fastest, wettest high-gloss tire shine. No wiping. It's streak-free, fast-drying, water-resistant. And the jet black wet look lasts for weeks. Amazing. Less than 60 seconds for all 4 tires, and you're done. Jet Wet, because wetter is better.
What's the matter? I got a flat. I'll fix it. No way. Why not? Are you an ASE certified mechanic? No. You got Kelly, Goodyear, and Michelin in stock? No. What gives? I don't want no-name tires between me and the road. I'm going to Bell Tire.
There's just one place to go for quality name brand tires.
Bell Tire, Bell Tire. Where do they learn to talk like that?
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, and now more than ever, nobody's closer.
Oh, I don't know if this is such a good idea, but come on. We only have a few more miles to go. Oh, this don't feel right.
What if people treated you the way you treat your car?
Oh, suck it up. Let's go. Let's go.
At Pet Boys, we treat vehicles right with a wide selection of quality truck tires from just $54.99, 7 days a week.
Okay, it's feeling better. Good. It's numbing out.
It's normal. All you need to know is where to go. Pet Boys.
Will she feel the same way if you lose your hair?
Sure. She'll just feel it about somebody else.
Don't worry, I love you. Anyway, you don't have to lose it.
Are you talking about Rogaine?
Rogaine? Maybe. Why not?
Rogaine. Yeah, why not? It's simple, it's safe, and it's clinically proven to help stop hair loss and regrow hair. Does she want you to use Rogaine? Better ask.
Welcome back to Bud Pole qualifying. Front grandstand nearly full here at Michigan International Speedway, and they've just seen Michael Waltrip reel off a lap of 38.825, and that is 25th fastest, and he's about a position or 2 away from going to a provisional.
This is what happens when they call you and say, if you don't step it up, you're going to have to take a provisional, and they could be in trouble. Here's what happens. You say, okay, and you go up, 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 up.
Ooh, and the whole time you know you got to stay on that throttle.
Got to stay in that gas. Can't let up.
All right, still a number of hot guns left to go. Let's meet one with Steve Burns.
And that would be Steve Park, very fast in practice. Steve, what do you got for us in qualifying here?
I don't know. We went from the bottom of the list to the top of the list pretty quick by putting tires on. So Paul and the guys have been working hard on this Pennzoil car. So hopefully it's a car that, I don't know if it'll run for the pole, but hopefully get us in the top 10. So we got a pretty late draw. If that works in our favor, maybe the top 5. But we're excited to be here in Michigan, that's for sure. It's one of my favorite racetracks.
On the speedway is Dave Blaney, teammate to Ward Burton for Bill Davis. Looking for his first top 15 start at Michigan. This is his 4th appearance in Winston Cup here. Best start of the season, 7th at Atlanta.
And as I mentioned...
Hello!
Hello.
3rd fastest.
Wow. I was going to jump in there with my straightaway speed, but I was afraid to. I thought I read my watch wrong.
Poor Bill Davis sitting home in Thomasville, North Carolina, probably about jumped out of bed with that one.
I guarantee you, they have told him that's enough. That'll do right there.
Bring it on in. Save it for the race.
But again, he was one of the teams that did the tire test here with Tony Stewart, and it looks like it paid off for him.
What a lap.
That is a good lap.
Yeah, he was the fastest car I've had down the back straightaway so far. And that computes to a pretty good lap.
And the thing about it, Darrell, you talk about fastest on the straightaway. The straightaway, you're in the gas so far back in the corner, it's a lot of the corner here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how you
these guys, they're back in the gas way over here in the corner on the straightaway. That's a lot of the corner that's part of the straightaway.
That's how you get up over 200 miles an hour here qualifying when you're going down those straightaways.
The crowd pretty surprised with Dave Blaney's run. Sterling Marlin is on the speedway. Never won a pole here. Started 2nd at Bristol and Talladega this year. In fact, he only has 1 top 10 start in his last 7 races here. Kenny Wallace has been bumped from the top 36. Bobby Hamilton is the bubble car right now. You see him flashing up there on the ticker.
You heard Sterling Marlin say this was a brand new race car, and I asked Lee McCall, his crew chief, I said, well, did you get to wind tunnel it? He said, no, I'm going to wind tunnel it here in about an hour on practice.
This is it. 2-mile wind tunnel.
This is Sterling in this crowd. That's 22nd, 38.78. They've been the flagship car for the Dodge brand so far this year, consistently in the top 10 every week.
He's going to shut it down after the first lap. That's quite a bit quicker than he ran in practice.
I'm sure he's going to be you know, considering where they were, he'd be pretty happy with that.
And he's in the show. He'll be among the top 36. That will bump Bobby Hamilton and move Stacy Compton onto the bubble. And there's Dave Blaney, the third fastest driver behind Jeff Gordon and Mike Skinner after a great one-lap qualifying run. Dick Berggren.
Well, Dave Blaney, 19th in practice this morning and a great qualifying run. Where'd all the speed come from?
Well, I don't know. That's faster than I thought we'd run, but well, we kind of went the wrong way at the end of practice, so we knew which way to go. I just didn't know how much it had in it, and I knew after 1 and 2 it was a very good lap, and I might have messed it up a little bit in 4, but pretty good, pretty good. Happy. We need a good week here for this Amoco team. No mistakes, no problem. Just a good race for us.
And for team owner Bill Davis. Let's go to Steve.
Hey, thanks, Dick. Ricky Rudd will be the very last car to go out. Now, Ricky, based on what you have seen so far and based on practice, how do you like your chances today?
Well, Steve, we're pretty quick in practice. I think we're third quickest. A couple of guys have run a little bit quicker than practice. I don't know. You know, it's late draw. There's no shade on the racetrack right now. At least I haven't seen any. That's why I'm sitting in here trying to find a nice, cool, shady place. But it's hard to say. You know, it could go either way. I haven't really been watching the trend of the speeds. If the speeds haven't been falling off, then I think we probably got a shot at it. I feel like first 2 or 3 rows anyway.
Good luck, Ricky.
Ricky Craven's first lap equals his best 2001 start, which was 4th at Talladega. 38.372, 4th fastest.
Good straightaway speed, wasn't it, DW? Yeah, he was. He was one of the quick ones. And that's just this racetrack, the way it lays out. If you can get off a 2, you usually run a pretty decent lap. If you can just get her into 3 and not lose any time there, you're going to come around with a decent time. And that's why straightaway speed is so important here. It's something I always look at. And he's right there again with the same speed down the back.
That bumped Stacy Compton from the top 36. Now, all these drivers bumped are eligible for provisionals, and Craven's second lap is slower.
Well, give up grip. You know, you get that first one in, and sometimes you just overdrive the second one, trying to pick up that other little bit that you know you need. But that's still a great effort for Ricky and his crowd.
Jeff Gordon is quickest. Mike Skinner, Dave Blaney, Ricky Craven, and Bill Elliott are the fast 5 so far.
You know, Ricky Craven's pit crew, they took a lot of heat last week after that slow green flag stop. But I want to tell you something. They made a bunch of changes in that pit crew prior to Dover. And a pit crew, it's like an orchestra. There's no substitute for time spent together. And I guarantee you Mike Bing's been working with that group, and they'll only get better with time spent together.
Yeah, and if you want to see my favorite Tide car next to the one Ricky's driving, it's on display at my dealership in Franklin, Tennessee. The 1989 Daytona 500 winner, Miss Betty, is in the showroom there if you'd like to go by and look at her.
Come on down. Everybody rides.
Hey, you know, quick, this is interesting. And since Ricky had such a great run last week, I feel comfortable talking about this. You know how they came up with the number 32?
No.
17, 10, and 5. That's the 3 cars they had before this.
The Tide had.
The Tide had. They had the 17 car mine. They had the 5 car that Ricky Rudd drove for Hendrick. And then they had the 10 car that Ricky owned himself.
I'm glad you.
And that's how they came up with 32.
How about that?
I think it adds up.
Steve Parks on the speedway. And his first lap is good for 13th on the board. That bumps Tony Stewart out of the top 36. 30.599 for Steve Parks.
A little slower than he ran in practice. He looks like he's going to go on and try to get this second lap in. The car blocked up solid, getting that straightaway speed.
Sucked down all, see how it's all even down the back of the car's even sucked down. That's when they're going fast. They get that big blade out of the air.
And Michigan is such a compromise, Darrell. In a perfect world, you'd like to have a low drag, slick car for qualifying. You're out there on fresh tires, but buddy, when that race starts, give me that down.
Oh yeah, you need two different cars here. You need one that'll go down the straightaway, which is no drag and no downforce. Then you need all you can get when you get to these flatter turns.
No free lunches in Aero, is there?
Compromise.
Second lap for Park, couple of thousandths slower. So he is 13th on the board, bumping Tony Stewart.
Every move, every story, totally NASCAR to 96. Never once did your car ask you for jewelry or flowers. Never once did it ask you if it looks fat
Or did it get mad at you for leaving a seat out? Your car always gives you exactly what you want. Doesn't it deserve something special in return?
How's it going, Stan?
Pretty good. If we could just move that front cake and a couple more macaroons, I think we can ship that package to the suburbs.
Good. Here's another one.
Good. Cookie?
Your small business should need its own small business to pay for shipping. For tools to help avoid unexpected surcharges, manage your bottom line, and meet customer demand, check out USPS.com.
Americans love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton, the power that works for you.
Office Depot and save $20 instantly on all HP scanners over $99.99.
Apparently, some people don't know Dremel also makes cordless rotary tools. Dremel cordless rotary tools. This Father's Day, they're the perfect gift solution.
Welcome back to Michigan. Todd Bodine waiting to run. Kevin Harvick out on the speedway, and Ron Hornaday has just completed his run in the Conseco number 14 A.J. Foyt's car, and he had to race his way in or go home. They're out of provisionals, and he is in. He's 23rd fastest, 28.778.
This car right here has got a real good shot at winning the pole. He was fast in practice, and we know he will gas one up. He likes it better when people are beside of him, but he'll do all right by himself. Jerry Nadeau has been bumped, and Ward Burton moves on to the bubble as Kevin Harvick in the Good Ranch Chevy takes to the track. See, I tell you, he's going to run that. He runs that real low line, which not very many guys have been able to do. Now, that's the way to get around here if you're back in the throttle and not wasting time. But that car really looks good, Larry.
Boy, they got the rear of the car down, as you said, getting that old rear spoiler out of there. The lower you can get it, the faster you're going to run down these straightaways. This is his Las Vegas and Fontana car.
I like the way that car looks.
Whew. And the fans are loving him, too.
Look, he's down there. He's not fighting the wheel. It's a smooth lap.
And it's 7th fastest, 38.412.
It looked faster than that.
It did, didn't it?
That thing looked fast.
And that's all there is for Kevin Harvick. I wonder how fast he'd qualify if Greg Biffle was alongside him.
That's who he needs. He's just ahead of you. Catch him.
Sunday night, Fox Sports Net, Victory Lane. It'll be all Kevin Harvick all weekend long. What's a Winston Cup driver go through on a race weekend? You'll see it Sunday night at 9.
I promise you, you'll be amazed.
Let's visit with the 4th fastest driver today. Here's Dick.
Well, last week, Ricky Craven was fast in the race. This week, he's got a great qualifying run. It hasn't always been that way in the last couple of years. What has turned this team around?
Oh, I got a phenomenal team. I got a great sponsor with Tide, and I'm having the time of my life. And, well, we came up a little short. We got beat by a good guy. And like I said earlier, I got to run a few laps qualifying and then go play miniature golf with my kids. So this isn't all bad.
No, indeed it's not. Good luck on Sunday.
I'd say he's got a birdie here, Dick. Todd Bodine.
I tell you, this cat, Todd just continues to surprise me when it comes to qualifying. He has really been up on the wheel qualifying.
2 top 10 starts in 6 attempts here at Michigan.
And he was 12th quickest in practice, 38.68 in practice.
While we're on the subject of Bodine brothers, we'll see oldest brother Jeff next weekend at Kentucky Speedway in the Busch Series. The C.C. Welliver team has hired Jeff Bodine to replace Tim Fedowa, who was released from that ride at the start of this week. First lap for Todd, 27th. He's in the show. It bumps Rick Mass.
Oh, he gets it up real high. He drove her in there. He drove her in a little hard into turn 1, and he just couldn't keep that. He couldn't carry that much speed. He had to get out of it. I'm sure they called him and told him what he run. He said, I'll see if I can make it up. But
And he knew it was not good through 1 and 2. He's going to shut it down.
But he is solidly in the show. Rick Mast has been bumped. Mike Wallace moves on to the hot seat. And you'll see Mike Wallace flash as we get to that 36th position. Coming up for the Busch Series, next weekend we go to Kentucky under the lights to inaugurate the Busch Series at that racetrack. It's my racetrack. Going to have a lot of fun there. VW will be honored at pre-race ceremonies, and you'll see it all 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox next Saturday. And then Sunday, July 1st, in the middle of Summerfest in Milwaukee, the Busch cars take to the mile at Milwaukee, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on FX.
And it's a fun time to be in Milwaukee with the fair going on and all that's happening around there on the fairgrounds. It's like back to the future.
Looking forward to that. Elliott Sadler for the Wood Brothers comes onto the speedway. Right now the bubble is Mike Wallace at 38.920.
Boy, you see that 21 car, you think about Michigan. It wasn't with Elliott Sadler. He was somewhere in kindergarten or something. Right. But the Wood Brothers that own this race car, 11 wins here at Michigan, and 9 of them was with the old Silver Fox, David Pearson.
Yeah, he was the man.
There's a great story in the brand new issue of Car and Driver magazine on the Wood Brothers. Bob Zeller wrote it, and it's on the whole history of the Wood Brothers all the way right to John Wood, the third generation of the Woods, who has now begun his racing career. And like I said, Car and Driver, it's a brand new issue, and I think you'll enjoy reading that. Elliott Sadler will not enjoy running 39th fastest, 38.900.
And they're going to be really disappointed with that. They came here and tested for 2 days and were elated at how fast they run.
So Mike Wallace stays on the bubble with 4 cars left to run. But full qualifying continues in a moment.
They are the sacred shrines of baseball, magnificent showcases of the great American game. And you could catch a ball game at these classic parks when you enter the Sears Classic Baseball Tour Sweepstakes. Yankee Stadium in New York. Fenway Park in Boston. Wrigley Field in Chicago. And Baltimore's Camden Yards. Visit the home appliance and home electronics department at Sears and register for a chance to win.
I'm Tony Young from Young Chevrolet Oldsmobile Cadillac in Owasso. By now, some of you current GMAC leasees know that you can turn your lease in early and waive your remaining payments. But did you know no matter where you leased your vehicle, you can turn it in right here at Young's in Owasso and take advantage of some of our great deals. Right now, we can put you in a brand new 2002 Bravada for as little as $383 a month. That's right, the new Bravada starting at $383 a month. So hurry in today to Young Chevrolet Oldsmobile Cadillac in Owasso.
Your problem is no problem when you call Hager Fox Heating and Air.
Now is the perfect time to make sure you're comfortable this summer. Invest in a new high-efficiency Bryant air conditioner. Call Hager Fox and Bryant to the rescue for simple, worry-free comfort from someone you trust.
Your problem is no problem when you call Hager Fox Heating and Air.
Sean Elliott had it all until he was stricken by a mysterious illness. Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
Next car on the track, Kevin LePage, whose Morgan McClure Chevy team is also out of provisionals. And you see the steam coming from the overflow as Kevin LePage has turned a lap of 30.778, and that puts him in the show. He's 24th and bumps Mike Wallace. Now, they had to run their way in. They are out of provisionals, and LePage came through.
And these teams that are out of provisionals, the 14 car with Rob Hornaday and Kevin LePage, they will get one back after the 16th event at Sonoma.
Rookie Andy Houston, trying for his second career start here, started and finished 35th here last August.
And that was his first career start as well.
and his teammates fourth. So see if we can share any information here with this two-car operation of Kyle Webb.
All right, Darrell, how'd they decide on number 96 for the team car?
I don't know, but I always told me you don't want a number the same whether it's right side up or upside down.
Right.
So, I don't think I like that number.
He was 23rd quickest in practice. He had run a 38.89. Pretty high up the racetrack.
Yeah, he drove
right
it.
there.
That's what happens to you over in turn 3. You just get all that speed and you don't know what to do, and you carry it in there a little too hard, and it washes up the track with you.
Terry Labonte on the bubble with an 86. Houston will not break that. 39.005 for the first lap. Darrell, does it hurt that there's no lines or markings anywhere on this racetrack? It's hard to find.
It really is. I don't like a track that doesn't have lines on it. First of all, you can't tell whose fault it is. When there's a wreck, you know, you can't tell who got out of who got in whose lane. And second of all, you're looking at a black, it's like driving down a highway looking at a black road with no lines on it. You kind of wonder where you ought to go. And the only one you got that one around the inside, and it's hard to hang to that line, the white line here.
And there's not really a groove to follow. There's not enough rubber down on the track to follow.
I like tracks with lines on them. That way I can tell who's at fault.
Andy Houston's second lap is slower. He will not bump Terry Labonte from the top 36.
He's going to be one of those cars that's going to be borderline even on provisionals. They're
That's
quite a
right.
ways back in the points.
Yeah, because you got some good cars back there right now. You got Terry Labonte and Ward Burton, Elliott Sadler, Jerry Nadeau.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to make it.
It might not. There's a bright orange monster over the track today. No Jimmy Spencer jokes. The Monster.com blimp is providing us with these great views of qualifying for the Bud Pole.
It looks like a crew chief riding on the front of that thing.
Looks like Hammond.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Hammond. That's what I was
for
thinking.
him today. I wonder if he's up there.
They've all these blimp companies have hired him. They found out that he blows up the Goodyear blimp, and they've all wanted to hire him. It's a lot cheaper than what they've been doing.
I understand we have a hot air.
And he's available.
But you know the bad thing about it, he's also, we've deemed him as a slow leak, too.
Well, that's right. But, you know, it's only got to stay up there a day.
And we can do this because he don't have a microphone today.
Don't never say slow leak to a blimp pilot. Kurt Busch from Las Vegas. Woo. Looking for his first Michigan start. He started 9th at Rockingham and Las Vegas.
Looks like he's a little tight up off the 2. That thing was way up out of what I would call the preferred line. He might make it work. These young boys seem to be able to overcome a lot sometimes qualifying.
Jack Roush said that. He said the reason Busch is so adaptable and quick on this new tire is he doesn't have anything to reference it to from past seasons, so he just jumps in and goes.
Boy,
and
good
he
lap.
went.
Good lap.
10th fastest.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, he's not having any trouble with the new tire because it's the only tire he knows in Winston Cup.
38.509. That's over 4/10 quicker, and he's going, boy, he uses all the racetrack up off turn 2.
That's what he did the last time through there.
Well, he knows what it felt like the last time through there, Darrell.
I do too, and I know it hurts when it gets out there like that.
That bumps.
Whoa! And he's wobbling again. Slow that thing down, bring it in, boy.
Those tires are losing more and more grip.
You're in the race. Don't be
You know who he reminds me of behind the wheel? Tim Richmond.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Hang it out and let it go.
Sure, if I am in the race, I'm going for the pole.
Quite a bit slower, though. 38.77. He's going to be 10th.
First lap's the good one.
Yeah, that's a good effort.
Bumps Terry Labonte.
He's a nice little guy. I like him a lot. He's a little wild when he first came along, but I think he's settled down quite a bit. He's gained a lot of respect, and he did it at Talladega.
And it does mean that Kenny Schrader, Casey Atwood, and Michael Waltrip and Jason Leffler will be in the show. They're locked in now. And the one man at question, you see a little steam overflow from Kurt Busch's car, is Robert Presley. Presley's on the bubble, and here is our last qualifier. Ricky Rudd started 3rd at Richmond. He's been on the outside pole 4 times at Michigan, including this race 1 year ago.
And this is Jeff Gordon's kind of like nightmare. You stand there on the pole all day long, and then the last guy out, who we know can go fast here, who has a fast race car, you got to hold your breath and hope that he doesn't do it.
Yeah, he was 3rd quickest in practice at a 38.47. This is his California car. Also, this is the car he was leading, a big lead. The race here in August, caution came out.
Yep.
Rusty beat him.
Now, I'll tell you before the time,
straightaway.
this is my pick for Sunday.
See me on the straightaway, down in the
Is that
turn.
inside information?
Ricky? No, I just kind of think so.
I tell you what, I'm glad y'all picked. I'm going to take the rest of the field.
Yeah, okay. Ricky Rudd, second fastest.
Man, look at that. 2.47 to a 2.40.
2/1000ths of a second slower than Jeff Gordon. A close sport. 2/1000ths of a second on a 2-mile racetrack.
Gosh.
I mean, he ain't done yet. He's still digging.
2/1000. You can't even spend money in that amount of time.
You sure can't think about that amount of time.
It'll sure make you miserable, though. That's that teeny little wig.
You know, he's still coming.
Oh, he's trying. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
To beat the flame.
Dig. Dig.
Nope.
Not likely, but
nothing wrong with second place.
A good effort. Okay,
So Ricky
let
Rudd.
me get this straight. You got 28.
Right.
You got 24. I guess I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to sleep on my pick.
That's okay.
Hammond says he gets to pick before you.
Ricky Rudd will start on the outside pole for the 5th time in his career at Michigan. There's the pole winner, and there's Steve Burns.
Well, Jeff, that was close. The last one, you dodged the bullet.
Man, it doesn't get any closer now. I just want to say thanks to all the guys back in the shop. They rebuilt this car, or the right front fender from Charlotte. This is our Charlotte car, and they did a lot of hard work, and I really appreciate it. And hey, guys, I think it might be better than it was before. So great run for us today, and just really proud of all the guys at this DuPont Chevrolet.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you.
Well, we'll be back with who's in the show and who's going home when we return to Michigan International Speedway after this.
NASCAR on Fox Sports Net has been brought to you by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
Beer is like a natural food product. The fresher it is, the better it tastes. That's why Budweiser has 12 local breweries right here in the United States. So you know our beer will always be fresh.
This Bud for you. And you and you and you. This Bud for you.
What if you were as dull as your car? At Pep Boys, we think cars deserve a little excitement with an amazing selection of car and truck accessories. Now you can get that hot import look with the latest APC performance products. Because when it comes to making cars stand out, all you need to know is where to go. Pep Boys. The Detroit Sports Report. It's the nightly newscast you've been waiting for. This is the real deal. 30 minutes every night dedicated to scores, highlights, and interviews from your hometown teams. We told you it was going to be good. Your teams, your town, your show. The Detroit Sports Report, nightly at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
Ricky Rudd, 2/1000th of a second from the pole. But for the 5th time in his career, he'll start on the outside pole at Michigan. Dick Berggren.
And the crowd, Ricky, was stomping their feet in the grandstand cheering you on. Could you hear it?
Well, I couldn't hear him, but I finished that run. Fatback, our crew chief, he says, hey, there was a heck of a crowd pulling for you. He said that he could hear him over top of this loud motor. So I knew it was going to be close. So we had a really good race car. This Texaco Havoline Taurus was fast in practice. And they just, every time we come to Michigan, this Yates group, they just give us a heck of a race car to work with.
Nice job. We'll be looking for a good run from you on Sunday.
Yeah, I think we'll race good. We're a little bit, actually, I think we qualified better than we probably expected when we got here. I think this car raced real well.
Good job. Thanks.
Thanks, Dick. Here's how they'll line up on Sunday. Jeff Gordon and Ricky Rudd the front row. Mike Skinner and Dave Blaney. Craven and Elliott. Earnhardt Jr., Harvick, Mayfield, Benson, all 4 makes in the top 10.
Could this be the place? Dodge gets that first win in 2001. Blaney and Elliott there solidly in the top 6.
Craven and Harvey. Good runs last week. Right up there again this week.
Look back through the top 20. Remember, 36 positions, 18 rows decided on qualifying time. All 3 Petty cars in the show. Great news for Kyle Petty and his group.
Bobby Labonte way back there. Tony Stewart way back there.
And Shauna Robinson becomes the 15th woman to qualify for a Winston Cup race. The provisionals: Stewart, Hamilton, Elliott Sadler, Ward Burton, Jerry Nadeau, Terry Labonte, and Robert Presley are the provisionals. And here's who goes home. Stacy Compton, the first driver who missed it. Mike Wallace, Andy Houston, Kenny Wallace, and Rick Mast in that order. Missed getting a provisional spot for the race here in Michigan.
Well, that's too bad. There's guys there that didn't need to miss this race, Stacy Compton being one of them. This is Harry Milling's home track, if you will, and that team is kind of based out of here for years, so that's sad to see.
Jeff Gordon, that momentum, though, they just keep going. But he knew.
Give me a break,
wait a minute. He knew it was going to take to that last car before the pole was his.
All right, ARCA tomorrow and Winston Cup final practice and the Cup race Sunday on FX. Hope you've enjoyed Bud Pole qualifying here at Michigan International Speedway. Lots more NASCAR coming your way on the Fox family of networks this weekend. Thanks for joining us for qualifying here at Michigan today.